Here's a great example of why you need to be load testing circuits appropriately for what they're driving. So in this case, we've got an ECM ground. This is the ground for the ECM. And right now I'm using my dual filament light bulb that's got a 1/2 amp load here or a 2 amp load there. So as you can see, the 1/2 amp load is lighting. The bulb is bright. So you would think that's a good ground. Well, let's actually load it with an appropriate load, and look at that. The bulb goes away. How cool is that? Alright, doing the same test again, but we're going to have a meter involved so we can actually see your voltage. And the voltage is going to be fluctuating because I've actually got this hooked up to my van, keeping the battery charged. But right now, we've got 12 volts here, ground there. So you would think, since we're seeing voltage, we've got a good ground. Well, let's load that with our 1/2 amp bulb. You see it lights, and we still keep our 12 volts here. So you still think this circuit is a good ground. Well, let's give it the extra 2 amps of load here. And now look at this, we have no voltage here because the circuit is not good. So still kind of the same test, but now we're just going to do a voltage drop measurement from the ground pin here to the battery negative. So my meter leads, I've got my red lead here, is just pinned in with the terminal here, that's ground, and then battery ground right here. So we've got the 1/2 amp load on here, so we can see our voltage drop is only about less than 200 millivolts. So it's not great, but not extremely terrible. Like, I've seen way worse than this. So now let's give it the other 2 amps of load here, and let's see what happens to our voltage drop on the circuit. Look at that. So what's this telling us? We have from here back through the harness to the battery ground right here, we've got 12.8 volts of voltage drop. So this circuit, definitely not good. That's why you always load your circuits with the appropriate current. I really wish I had that Load Pro on this thing, because Load Pro would show this circuit as being good because it's only 1/2 amp of current. Load Pro is not a good tool. So now we've got the 2.5 amps total current draw flowing through the ground and voltage dropping our ground circuit only. We've got about 150 millivolts of voltage drop, which is completely fine. What was the cause of the issue? Too long of a ground bolt. This was tight. The wire looked tight against it, like I couldn't even wiggle the wire, but yet it was just barely not making a connection. Matter of fact, when I was trying to put my socket on here, my socket was arcing to the little tab on the side of the wire, making it turn my light bulb on. So put a shorter bolt in the ground. It was G121 down behind the engine over there, and now this thing should be fine.